Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the Microsoft 365 Community Conference Workshop Preview Series. I couldn't even get it done in one breath. That's a mouthful. Well, we are also powered by our strategic partner, BTechly. This series will run for these 3 weeks in total and be every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and feature sneak peeks into the workshops scheduled for the main event in Orlando this April. If you're watching live and would like to learn more about this series, Terry, my buddy here, will pop up a little QR code up there, and click on that code or scan that code, and you can see the schedule for next week and the week after that. This seminar or workshop preview is being recorded, and we'll be posting it to the workshop site on the conference site as well. Just a reminder that we have a discount code coming up for $300 off your registration for the Microsoft 365 Community Conference in Orlando. That code will give you $300 off, and you'll need to use it soon because it expires January 19th. Well, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce our presenter, Sherry Oswald, the technical evangelist and SharePoint consultant for PowerUpLearning.com.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited about this workshop that's coming up in Orlando in just a few months. So I want to make sure that you all are queued up to come and are excited to be there. So today I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview on the content that we're going to cover in the workshop. It's a full day workshop. It's hands-on. Make sure you bring your thinking caps and a pen and paper because we are going to deep dive into how to empower your workforce and turn Copilot adoption into an everyday innovation. All right, so a little bit about me. They call me Shortcut Sherry. It started as a joke and it stuck, but that's how you can reach out to me on all the socials, so Facebook, Twitter, and I also have a blog. And I just want to highlight that I have over 25 years of experience, even though SharePoint is turning 25 soon here in a few weeks, but I've actually been using SharePoint since before it was called SharePoint. So it's been my baby, and I'm like, oh, how's my baby already 25 years old? That's crazy. But it's so exciting to have that milestone and be able to celebrate it as well. All right, so if you have ever been to any of my workshops or any of my sessions, I always start with what's your problem? And I kind of got known for this, and it's not like, what's your problem? It's no, what's your problem? Often I would have people come to me and want a solution for something, and they tell me to build it. And after I build it, I'm like, wait, what are you trying to do? And so we're going to talk from the problem today. We're going to start there. That many organizations that have invested in Microsoft 365 and licensed for Copilot, but they're struggling to realize that investment because the people don't know how, when, why, or how to use it in their daily work. So we want to make sure that not only are they licensed, but they're not dangerous, and they can also know how to make that best use of the tool that we've provided for them. So what's in the workshop? We'll give you a high-level bullet points. I'm going to give you a preview into the content. The first thing we're going to do is establish a people-first strategy. And I'm an end-user productivity specialist. I started out my career in human resources, so I've always been people-first. So I always start from the people. So we're going to find a strategy that works for them. The next thing we're going to do is find who our champions and our executives are that are going to help lead by example, because everything trickles down. If we have those leaders that are actually behind the effort, it has a tendency to fail. So we want to make sure that they're in place, but also your champions, identifying those and helping you, the people that are in the trenches that are going to help people succeed using that tool. And then we're going to build and personalize. That's the key word there, personalize the learning journeys for each of those audiences after we identify them. And then at the end of it, we're going to be able to track the success of that adoption by using some of the analytics that are available in the platform. So I like to use a roadmap. So we have our problem, we have what we want to get accomplished. This is our solution journey. So we're going to start with the people side of Copilot success and explore some of the ADKAR methodologies, how we're going to get people there. The fact that one size doesn't fit anyone. We want to make sure that those learning journeys are personalized for each person so that they are excited about the change. We're going to uncover why before the how. After we decide who the people are, we need to know why this is going to be beneficial to them. And then we're going to use those champions and spark the champion effect by finding those people that are out there, excited, and ready to help you to push the adoption of those products. And then finally, turn those strategies into everyday wins. We want to know that people are excited about them. So how are we going to get there? So here's a little bit of preview of the content. All right, I'm not going to give away all the secret sauce yet, but I always like to start again from the people side of things. And that involves the ad car change management model. All right, so what does that mean? We have awareness. So this is the pre-contemplation. When we are getting ready for a change or getting ready for a new technology, it's always really good to kind of let people know it's coming and not just lob it over the fence. So we're going to make them, kind of aware that something's coming, and then make them excited about it. So we're going to say, here's what it can do for you. We're going to develop that desire in the contemplation stage. Then we're going to go to the knowledge stage. This is how we prepare them for that change, that update, that transition. We've got this digital transformation thing going on, and that's in the preparation stage. We want to get them excited about it, and then we want to let them know, how to use it or what it can do for them. And this is called the enablement zone, getting them ready for that change. Next, we're going to go to ability. So ability is how do we take all of that and give them the skills that they need in order to succeed with that transition. And then finally, reinforcement. Reinforcement is the after. So it's the maintaining things. It's making sure that people remember that, you were learning this for a reason, because there's always a learning curve to things. And at first, it's an investment of time and it slows you down a little bit, but eventually it pays off. And we call that the engagement zone. All right, so we're going to spend a little bit of time on this on the workshop. How do we gear all of the ad car model to the different stages of the strategy and the plan that we're going to come to the end of the day? All right, so again, sprinkling in the ad car, keeping in mind one size doesn't fit anyone. We want to create an adoption plan that is specific to that person. And we need to decide first, who is the audience? Who are we working with? Because in order to help them in their journey, make them excited about it, we need to understand who they are. So we're going to spend a little bit of time, and we're going to get old school. We're going to use Sharpies and sticky notes. And I did this in a recent workshop, and people said, you had me at sticky notes. So again, you're not going to be sit back watching me and me talking for 8 hours. We're going to get in and get our hands straight with things. Right. There are some wonderful resources that are out of the box that Microsoft has provided, including the Copilot deployment kit. But again, this is geared toward a specific or general audience. We want to meet people where they work and help them to understand how this can help them. So we can take this, but we can also use it as a starting point, customize it, and make it useful for each of the audiences that we decide. The main thing to remember is that everybody is a little bit different. Everybody uses the tools differently. And in order to help them adopt that technology, you have to remember, what's in it for me? That's the question. If you're making their work harder, or they think it's going to be harder, they're not going to adopt it. And hopefully, in this stage of the workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to identify the things that are common between them and group them together and see if we can find some themes and how we can convert those into adoption campaigns. Right. Next step, we're going to uncover the why before the how. And here, I think, is one of the biggest missed opportunities. When you are working with adoption and working with people, the big thing that tends to be forgotten is asking them what it is. So we're going to do a little mock discovery session. I've been doing these for over 15 years, and they're my absolute favorite thing to do, because I'm not going to just try and guess what's going to be helpful to you. I'm going to ask you and how do we discover those? And we do those by painting the pain. And after we paint the pain, we're going to take those same audiences and decide what are the strategies that are going to help those people along the way and help them be excited and adopt that technology. We're also going to be able to identify who are our innovators and who are our laggards and who's everybody in between, because we need to approach them differently. The people that are tech forward are the ones that are going to help you, but the ones that are laggards, you might have to drag them, maybe a little kicking and screaming, but eventually we're going to make them excited. But we need to figure out what those buttons are. and discover what those pain points are. What are your pain points? Again, we call this painting the pain. And if we can solve that headache, if we can solve that frustration that they have, they are going to be excited about the transition and the transformation in their digital world. Right. So we're going to end up at the end of this phase, we're going to end up with a probably I'm hoping a whiteboard, or we're gonna improvise with what we have available to us. But we're going to find a full stack and a plan of how we can put this into action for our audiences. The best thing that comes out of those discovery sessions is you are going to find your champions. And in order to get people in the trenches helping you, you need to find out who those excited people are. So we're going to round them up and come up with a plan for them to help you and incentivize them to be part of that initiative. All right. Finally, at the end of the day, this is where we're going to get really cool stuff happening. We're going to turn that strategy into everyday wins. Those all of those sticky notes are going to come together, and we're going to figure out how do we talk to these people, and how do we take each one of those and make them feel like they're succeeding, they're the superhero in their world. All right, so this is where you're going to want to make sure you bring your laptop and make sure it's charged. We'll probably have plugins as well, but make sure it's ready to go, because you're going to get into an environment. We're going to give you a place to play, and we're going to work together and create content based on that. So how are we going to do that? We're going to use all the tools that are available in Microsoft 365. So everything from Teams to maybe even Outlook. You can use PowerPoint. We can use OneNote. All those tools to kind of decide what those plans are. And amplify that using Viva Engage. So Viva Engage is how we make sure people get excited and keep them up to date and communicate with them about what's going on. So we're going to do a little bit of Viva Engage. And yes, we're even going to use Copilot, because who wants to write all of that content? That's overwhelming. So we're going to show you how to use Copilot to take the information that we gathered in our workshops and figure out how to target our communications to those specific people. Right. Then we're going to use a little bit of Viva Amplify. So we're going to take Amplify. We're going to build those campaigns. I call these little drip marketing campaigns, like did you know, did you know, did you know? And we're going to target those specific audiences. We might be able to take the exact same communication for the finance department and use it for the operations department, and completely different content, but the messages are a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to work with that, kind of see how we can translate the content from one audience to the other and use those campaigns. And then finally, we're going to remember that track the effectiveness. There are built-in analytics right in Amplify, but also we can also peek behind the scenes in the admin center and figure out, did it work? Are people using that tool? So all along the way, we're going to be implementing all of these phases, all of these techniques using the ADKAR model to make sure that people are excited about the technology, excited about the transition, and sprinkle in ADKAR along the way. So I would love to invite you to join me at the conference, and I will be on April 19th. I'm excited for that first day, Sunday day, and have everybody come in all fresh and ready. And if you, once that other promotion code expires, you can use Oswald 150 as your promotion code, and that will get you $150 off. So if you're watching this later than the deadline date, definitely register, use a discount code, and I'm excited to have you there. So be sure to join us in Orlando.
Hey, thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. You have such experience and in the trenches understanding of what so many people, it's priceless, your knowledge and your experience. We really appreciate it. This presentation is being recorded, and it will be available for on demand, and it will be placed on Sherry's workshop page on the conference site. Just a last minute reminder, as I think Sherry just was talking about, that we do have the N300 discount code for $300 off, but you'll need to use it by January 19th. It has to be by January 19th. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you live and in person in Orlando. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.